Hey, greetings from New Hampshire. We got a little bit of snow last night and it's fairly cold today, but I reckon it's a good thing I like the snow. As of recent, instead of buying chips down at Tractor Supply, I've been trying to shred this cardboard to make bedding for these rabbits. And I know it's not the most ideal because the manure gets into the cardboard and then I'm gonna have to compost the cardboard, but it can be done, and it's desperate times. It calls for desperate measures. I mean, I'm sure we're gonna be brought down a little more than just that, you know. But yeah, one little thing at a time, you know. They don't seem to mind. They seem to not care. So, but it works. So it might not be ideal, but it's what we got to work with. So. As winter progresses, I figured it would be a good thing to set this up. You know, worst comes to worst, you know, this thing gives off enough heat to be able to stay warm and melt snow if need be. I've been melting snow to give to the rabbits and chickens, and it's been a useful thing, you know, having the snow outside on the ground. I can just run out and collect it and melt it down and give it to the animals. It's a little easier to collect precipitation when it's just on the ground whenever you need it. So, this has been a nice thing to have. You know, if I could use this instead of burning oil, I will. Today it's supposed to be getting up to only 8 degrees. And, it's a cold one today. First thing to do is just to make do. This will keep us warm. You know, I have plans myself to build a yurt with the wife and the kids. And we're going to be popping this pipe and this little stove right into the yurt. This will be the one that we'll actually be using in the future. So, yeah, I figured I'd make a quick video, show you how I've been doing through the winter, how we've been kind of making do. I know I had a bunch of hay down here in the basement for a while, but I just recently cleared that out, giving it to the chickens to, you know, sit on and shit on. But yeah, it's been a hell of a ride so far, and I'm kind of excited to see how things turn out, you know, if things go to shit. To me, that's kind of best case scenario, you know, if the power goes out and we lose track of the bank and the government and we kind of just end up doing our own thing. To me, that seems like best case scenario kind of deal. But meantime, I'll be shredding my cardboard and trying to keep the animals fed the best I can. Now, one of the downsides with my little operation I got here with the chickens and the rabbits is that I'm still buying feed. You know, it's tough when you first get started to obviously make your own. But I have plans next that will just come in spring to really plant and figure out the best way to get as much feed as I possibly can grown, so I don't have to go to the store to get it, because, well, it might not be at the store. You know, I've already had I couldn't find Timothy hay last time I went. I usually get a little pressed block of Timothy hay down at the store, but no can do. They don't have it. So be prepared for that as we move forward. I do have a big old bag of Timothy hay seeds, and I'm ready to plant that. And I figured I'd mix some sunflower seeds in too. So when I harvest the Timothy hay, it's got to be green. Harvest that green hay, then I'll have some sunflowers shooting up. And then to even grow something up to sunflowers, that's something I can do as well. Use it as a natural trellis. So there's plenty of things that can be done in a small area. So once again, if someone's got property out there and they live here in Claremont, New Hampshire, damn, tell me. And we can make something happen, and then we can split, whatever I make. I just recently got my phone back together. It's, well, I can get calls now on my phone, which, I mean, is whatever, but mainly so I can start handing out my cards. My wife made me some cards. They look like this. I'm going to start handing these out. So, now that I'm able to, it'll be good. So, but yeah, times are getting rough. We just recently ran out of water. So, I had some jugs of water I intended to give to the animals, but since that's the only spring water we have, I figured I'd take it in. I started drinking that. I've been making my coffee out of snow. Because drinking snow water straight is like god awful. It's like one of the worst things I've ever tasted. It's awful. But for some reason, well, in the coffee it masks that nasty taste. But it's a way for me to get some moisture in my body. So, but pretty soon I'll have to take a run out and get some more water. But I know today I'm thinking, or maybe tomorrow, I might be slaughtering up some rabbits. And I figured I'd make a quick video, show people how to do it. And, whether it's a rabbit or a pig or a goat, it's going to be a similar process. You're going to want to get the fur off, if it's got fur, and get the guts out. Figure out what you want to keep. If you're going to be using the intestines, you want to process that pretty quick after. And the hides, same deal. Make sure you got salt. Salt them hides. And that'll make it so you can store it at the very least. And then when you have time, you can kind of clean them up and sew them together and do whatever you want with them. But yeah, I'll kind of give you the rundown of how we kind of have it going. I figure I try to save a little more each time I slaughter a rabbit. Try to use as much as I can. Eat liver, kidneys, hearts, lungs, anything you can eat it. So anyway, I'll have to make that video one of these days because I think that's pertinent information. So until then, I guess I'm just gonna sign off. I don't really have anything else to say. That's kind of been one of the big deals about making these videos is I don't have a whole lot to say, besides, well, I'm working with the same people I've been working with, and I'm trying to make things happen. And as they happen, I'd like to make videos to show people how to network and work with people to, get some operations going. As for right now, I need to find somebody so I can grow barley this year. And then that barley I want to start making beer with to sell. And the whole reason I want to make beer to sell is because you can get more money for beer than you can for barley, pound for pound, And then also building events. I mean, that's kind of the big push is, I know someone who has an event venue. And my aim is to be able to raise animals and vegetables and whatever we need and turn it over at the event. Instead of selling pound for pound, have a whole event built up around what I grow and make money that way. Because I feel like you could make more with less. And money, I don't really care about. But while we can the world's still running on it. The bank still wants money for the mortgage. And the government, we have to pay rent to the government in Federal Reserve notes. So until the time comes where I'm no longer expected to pay the mortgage, which, God willing, society breaks down, please Lord, let it break down so I can just be on my own and do my own shit for at least a little while. Because, anyway. Until that time comes, I have to focus on making those damn notes so I can keep the wolves at bay, you know, prolong, you know, not getting our walk-in papers here at the house. We might not have the house or whatever, but I'm also trying to build a yurt. Get a yurt built one little piece at a time. I cut the slats, and I'll have to show you guys that process, whoever is watching anyway, whoever cares. And so anyway, yeah, we got the slats built on the yurt, and we're going to be getting some rope soon, but it's tough. I mean, not being able to get a job where you can't wear a muzzle, and most people now want you to get the lethal injection. So we have to start planning. You know, if you're working at a corporate job, you have to start thinking now, all right, what can I do now to help me later? Because instead, just going through day to day and just going willy-nilly through life and not really paying attention to what's coming, the day's going to come where they're going to say, no, if you don't take the job, then you're not going to have a job. And that's coming soon. So planning needs to start like 20 years ago, but I guess we just have to make do now, do what we can now. So anyway, that's most of my plans. I know it's kind of like I was all over the place, but I figured I'd drop a line, you know, and if there's anybody in the area, please contact me, you know, because I'd like to work with some people. It don't matter if you have a big piece of land or not. Even a small piece of land. My land that I'm on is not gigantic, but you can still make do. If you're on a wooded piece of land, we could use the trees in order to grow, like mushrooms. You can grow oyster mushrooms in burlap sacks and hang them on the trees. You can have a whole oyster mushroom tree. But I'd like to find these people who have the property. Instead of just growing grass on your land, why don't we grow something to make money? And in the event that the money is no longer worth anything, and when the grocery stores are empty, then yeah, we're going to split the food, and we're going to make sure we're fed, you know, because that's what I really want, is to make enough food to feed people. My family, my next door neighbor's family, my friends and family, you know, my family, my family's families, and my friends' families, everybody, you know, we're going to need it so bad. But I have to get in touch with somebody, because most of the people I know they don't really, it's hard to work with people, but I'm willing to, you know, do whatever it takes. So again, I'm going to flash my card here.